evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Epic Film Guys podcast. Justin, officially on the countdown to Infinity War. Avengers, Marvel, comic book movies, all of your favorite things, all wrapped into one. Don't tell me you're not excited.
I'm cautiously optimistic about what we're going to be seeing in Infinity War. I really have liked the trailers I've seen. It is what it is. It's an end of an era. It's been 10 years in the making. The last handful of Marvel films have been fantastic. So, handful, not all of them. So, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we will indeed. Welcome. Everyone joining us here on the show tonight. I am, of course, Nick.
And I'm Justin, and yes, we are the Epic Film Guys. That's who you're listening to right now, the Epic Film Guys podcast. We have lots of stuff in store for you tonight.
Super fun.
I had a very eventful week last week. Nick,
did you?
He worked some overtime and brewed some beer, isn't that right?
You didn't do things. I did brew some more beer. Are we going to talk about the home brew before we get into the booze? All right, we'll talk about it. I brewed the Cascade IPA for The Cure. I'm going to crack the first one of them May 18th. For the live stream for The Cure 2.0 officially. My first time ever really doing more of a mash, like a partial mash kind of brew. I usually just kind of steep my grains. This one was much more of a mash process for my grains. And I was really worried my liquid yeast was not going to activate, and it actually did. I checked it when I got home tonight after I saw A Quiet Place. Oh shit, I forgot to do the thing. Damn it. Wait, after I saw... Quiet. Get it? Because I'm being quiet. I was signing at the microphone, even though I really wasn't, and you could see that. If you're watching over on the live stream, we are live once again and getting ready, ramping up. Justin, 40 days from today, from recording day, live stream for The Cure 2.0 is going to rock out of the gates with 30 hours of live content from May 18th through May 20th. Are you getting excited? Are you getting hyped up? Are you getting pumped for the event?
Oh, yeah. Most definitely, dude. I'm all about it. We have that merchandise up, as we said, in our patron-only segment.
Yes.
We have Livestream for The Cure 2.0 t-shirts now available in our Redbubble store. Official. Go out there and grab one. Go grab a tank top. Go grab a t-shirt. Put it on a hoodie, whatever you want. It looks good on white. Looks good on gray. That's what it's made for. But it's there for you. And all of those proceeds for those t-shirts, all that merchandise goes directly to the cause to help smash out cancer, baby.
That is 100% correct, Justin. We already sold a couple of those bad boys. Perry and Lindsay from the Pod Stuff and from Hello Life WTF picked up a couple of shirts. They're on their way already. They are the first ones out of the gate right now as of today, and I don't know how long, but Redbubble does these sales like 2, 3, 4 times a week where they'll do 20% off sales. So if you have a Redbubble login, just wait for a coupon and then jump on them. Especially if you buy the unisex or the classic tees. Those give us the biggest margin. You can get whatever you want, get whatever you want to support the event, but more bang for your profiting buck, or more bang for your live stream for The Cure donation buck, as it were, if you get the classic or the unisex tee, because the price points that they charge on those base is really low. Versus like what the fuck is with the one? There's like these t-shirts in there that are premium t-shirts. They're like $50 fucking. Like that's their base cost.
I've gotten one. They're really nice, but they're overpriced. I've gotten premium
really
t-shirts.
Nice. They better pet my ball sack while I'm sitting in a chair for that fucking price.
It's like a fashion tee, dude. I mean, I don't know. Some people, they'll just buy a expensive t-shirt just because they can say they bought an expensive
whatever
t-shirt.
You want to get.
Buy whatever, get whatever is comfortable for you, man.
The
get
important thing is
enjoy.
Everything on top. So all of the profits from it, literally every penny, is going to go toward our live stream for The Cure goal, Justin, which right now, I'm actually going to go ahead and pull this up over on the stream. And I'll tell you guys that are listening along at home. I'm going to take that again. Hang on. All right. I need another fucking mouse. I swear to God, I'm going to buy a second mouse for when we do live stream for because I can't be switching my fucking mouse button back and forth between the laptop and the fucking desktop the whole time. I think it's so annoying. All right. Yep, we're going to go ahead and bring up the live stream total, Justin, right now, which is sitting at, bang, $175. Big donation. Actually, he made it during the show last week, I think, when we were live. Destruction in Human Form himself, Jared Taylor, checking in with $100 early dono up there. Thank you so much, man. We love you. You are literally
thanks, man.
Incredible. And we got two $10 donations checking in from Shampoo, hashtag Shut Up Shampoo, but also hashtag Thank You Shampoo. And the Running Man himself, he's watching in the live stream. We love you, Scott. And I actually gave him all of his gifts that I finally owed him, all the prizes he's won for months and months and months on the podcast. Scott LeVar, thank you very, very much. And Emily, of course, with that first $50 donation, $175 we've got. And as soon as the profits clear over from Redbubble, another $13 from the two shirts. So two t-shirts, $13 goes toward that goal. I think it's two of the classic t-shirts in that case. So you guys are amazing. That's already 3.5% of the way toward the goal. We are still 40 days before it even begins. And I've got a little announcement, Justin, if you'll bear with me just a moment. I decided, I figured this would be really fun because we've got a lot of other podcasts that are going to be participating in the event. And I've been doing a lot of outreach to podcasts to try to get them motivated. So if you're a podcast who is taking part in the live stream for The Cure, we're going to give away a prize to the show that gets the most donations during their slot. The most exciting, amazing thing, I know. I think I would have valued it like $50. We'll give away a couple of shirts and a bunch of other stuff, throw a pint glass in there, something like that maybe. But the show that gets the top dollar donation, and we're talking half an hour blocks because some shows are on for an hour or some shows are going to be on for more than an hour. So it's not going to be the whole time you're on. It's going to be like 1.5 an hour block. So whichever show gets the most donations in that half an hour. So galvanize your fan base, get them on board, and the winning show, $50 worth of prizes from the Epic Film Guys podcast. What do you think of that, Justin?
Woo. That's a lot, man. That's nice.
I mean, we're working so hard with a lot of these other podcasts to get them involved, and so many amazing shows. I shouted out so many amazing shows last week, and you guys have got more shout outs coming. I've been playing promos for some of you guys as well. And of course, you're all going to get free stickers, Epic Film Guy stickers, and Livestream for the Cure 2.0 stickers. So thank you very, 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 very much. You guys are just absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Thank you for supporting this amazing event. You, my friend, had an experience of a lifetime, an experience of a few lifetimes this past weekend. Why don't you go ahead and tell us all about it?
Yeah, man, I didn't even believe that it could ever become a possibility in my life, but I was cast as an extra in Creed 2. That's right, Creed 2, a sequel to one of my favorite films of the last 5 years and one of my most anticipated films of the year. I traveled to Philadelphia to become an extra in the film, and to my surprise, Nick, I worked directly alongside, right next to Sylvester Stallone, right next to Michael B. Jordan. It was insane. I can't even begin to explain to you. When I got on set, and I obviously signed a non-disclosure, so I can't really tell you what the scene was, but I can tell you there's boxing in the movie, and that scene that I'm in probably has something to do with that. But they were handpicking people, moving them around, and I was picked to be right near the main cast, and I stood next to Sylvester Stallone and Michael B. Jordan and Tessa Thompson all day long. It was amazing. So to get to the nitty gritty of my story, I brought 3 Blu-ray covers in my pocket, in my jacket, my sport jacket. I brought a Masters of the Universe Blu-ray cover, a Creed Blu-ray cover, and a Rocky Heavyweight Champion. It's like a Blu-ray collection cover. So in between takes, like obviously they're taking a long time to set up every single scene, setting up the camera. Stallone actually ends up sitting down right next to me. And I'm like, it's been 5 hours since I've been shooting. I was nervous to talk to any of them. No one else seemed like they're all like actual actors or people that have been in movies a lot, and they're not bothering anyone. They're not talking to anyone. I'm like, screw it. I'm actually just going to ask him. And I was just like, excuse me, Sly, I was wondering if you would sign this for me. He looks up, and this is Sly in full Rocky Balboa character. He's got the hat on sideways. He's bouncing the ball up and down in front of me this whole time. He looks up at me. He winks. He takes my Blu-ray cover and he signs it. And I couldn't believe it. I was like in shock over this whole thing. So that moment for me was like a dream, let alone being in the movie, being next to them, interacting with them in my scenes that I'm with them. And then it's later on that night, and I didn't realize, Nick, how tiring it becomes when you're on set and you're working all these big scenes with lots of extras. And it's like 10 at night. I'm sitting there, I'm exhausted. And Tessa, who plays Bianca, Adonis Creed's girlfriend in the first film, and of course in this next film, she's walking around, she's standing right next to me, and I'm like, you know what? She's standing here. I'd like to meet her. So I started talking with her, and I said, hey, I was wondering if you would sign my Creed cover. And she was like, oh, that's so sweet. You want my autograph? I'd love to give it to you. And so she looks at it, and she's like, looking at the cover. Obviously, the main cover has Michael B. Jordan and Stallone on it. She's like, I wonder if Michael would sign this. Dude, she takes the cover into the ring where Michael B. Jordan is acting and waits until they yell cut. She hands it to him, and with his glove, he actually physically signs my Blu-ray cover, and then she gives it to Sly, and he signs it, Rocky, and then his signature. So all three of them on it. And she did that. And she was such a sweetheart. And she said, it's so great to meet you. I'm so glad you came. Thank you for being in the film. And it was amazing. I can't even tell you enough. It's a long, long story that could go way further in depth. But I have to get to the next day, Nick. I woke up in the morning and I was supposed to shoot again. And I said, well, I don't know if I can do it. I think it's a cold, rainy day. It reminded me of that cold, bleak day in Rocky where he runs up the steps. And I said, I've been to the steps before. I'm going to go again. So I decided to stop there before I left Philly and headed back home to my wife and family. I'm driving around, dude, and I see a lot of cameramen over there near the statue. And I knew they put a new plaque on it. And I said, I have to see this. Something's going on. I stopped there, Nick, and who's going to be there in 5 minutes? But Sly himself to commemorate the brand new plaque put on the statue. And I was in prime location. No one knew this event was happening. No one knew anything about it. It was not publicized. It was a favor to the mayor to take a photo with the mayor as a photo op and support the fact that they put the new plaque on there and everything and get some news coverage on it. And I was there. And the photo that I posted on social media was actually picked up by the Philadelphia Museum of Art, where the statue is in front of. And as of right now, there's over 8,000 likes on Instagram. And I can't believe it. Insane moment to be able to stand there while Sylvester Stallone is in front of that iconic statue. And I'm just standing there. And there it is, as he lifts his arms high up in the air, just like the statue itself. I mean, I can't tell you enough. Words can't put it in words can't do it justice. It was just something, it was surreal. And it ain't gonna ever get any better than that for me, man.
Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. No one on the Epic Film Guys podcast will ever have a more epic story than that one. So
game over, man. It's game over.
That's it. That's the last one. That's the last one, man. I mean, like, you were sending me like little bits of updates, like you weren't sending me like full things, because obviously you can't disclose most of what was going on the whole time you were there. But at the very least, like it was just even the little bits of stuff. You sent me the pictures of the autographed covers and whatnot, which is just like, dude, that's baller as hell. Like with his glove and everything, like in the middle of in between a take or something like that.
Well, he did that, and then when he was getting greased up in between takes, they oil him up. He's sitting right next to me, dude. For some reason, I just got really lucky, and they put me right in place next to them. I didn't want to bother him, but I kept looking over at B. Jordan because I couldn't help it. I'm a legit straight dude. I can say when a guy's good looking, but dude, that dude is just like, you could tell he's a Hollywood star, and you can see it in his face and in his performance and when he's getting amped up. And he looked over at me and he put his gloves out to me, Nick. And then he did like the boxing glove, like up and down fist bump. He's like, thanks for being here, bro. Thanks for being here. And I was like, dude, it's such an honor to be in your presence. I'm so glad that I'm here. And he's like, thanks, man. Thanks. And that's all I got out of him. But when he did that with the boxing gloves to me, I couldn't even believe it, dude. I'm just like, dude, I thought I was going to wake up from like a really great dream and be here and have to go to work the next day. And it just wasn't that. So, all that aside, to end the story, even though I have more stories for the end of the show that don't involve the film, I actually got to hang out with Jay from Soupy I got to hang out with Jay from Super Movie Brothers. From Soupy. I'm so excited here. I'm thinking about all the events and me being in Michael B. Jordan's presence, and I'm all like, I'm nutting a little bit, you know? But I actually, you texted me when I was on set and you said, dude, Jay from Super Movie Brothers is there. And within 2 minutes, we locked eyes. We were in the same room waiting to be put into our place for our scenes. And we hung out the whole day. He was really chill, dude. Super tall dude. Like, he's huge.
Yeah,
he's like the biggest
huge
guy I've ever seen.
Man.
But yeah, it was great to have someone to talk to there on set, because I mean, everyone else is just like, I've been in movies my entire life. I was in the first Creed. I worked on House of Cards with Kevin Spacey. All these people have been on all these other movies, and I'm like, I'm just here because it's awesome. But it was an amazing experience, dude. I couldn't have asked for something better. And thanks for letting me blab about it, because I live for film, and that's what it's all about for me.
Man, man, if ever the smattering was earned on the show, that definitely has to take the cake. That is amazing, dude. That is absolutely amazing. And I mean, like I said, no more stories ever on the Epic Film Guys podcast, because no one's ever going to top that one, especially since you got to meet Jay from the Soupy Movie Brothers.
Soupy Movie Brothers. Soupy
Movie Brothers. So, Justin, before we roll into our first segment break here and do a little bit of EFG history, 1 year ago today, or this week, I was joined by Shock Top himself. That guy. I was joined by him, and we did 50 Shades of Grey. Man, talk about some good clips. But before we get there, Justin, I gotta know, what are you drinking? And let's push the actual button this time.
I'm back! Puke and rally! Woo! Give me a beer!
Well, Nick, as soon as I left the Rocky statue at the Philadelphia Museum of Art, I said, screw it, I'm out of here. But there was one thing I wanted to do while I was leaving Philly, was going to visit Tired Hands Brewing Company, which is right outside Philly. I've had one or two of their beers at Pizza Boy in Harrisburg, and I wanted to actually check out their fermentarium, which is like a restaurant / main brewery area for them. And I picked up cans of their Severe Head Wound. It's a double IPA, and they call it their Pink Goopy Double IPA. It says, Nick, this is brewed with fluffy gobs of spelt and oats with a huge helping of fragrant whole hibiscus flowers, conditioned on luscious red raspberry puree, Madagascar vanilla beans, and a touch of freshly ground cinnamon.
Jesus.
I gotta be honest, I don't get the cinnamon out of this thing. But as I put it up in the live stream earlier on, it is extremely red. It looks like raspberries. There's a ton of different hops in this thing. There is a sense of like fresh whipped cream in this thing and cherry, but it's delicious. Like, I've been really getting into like these berry, like the one I had last week, you know, the triple IPA with the berries in it. It's a new thing they're doing, and I really enjoyed this. And while I was sitting there, it's pretty funny. I actually met two people on both sides of me, both from completely different areas. Both had been to Aslan, had heard of Aslan. We were talking about it. And I went in looking for cans. And as I'm sitting there, there were 6 cases of cans, Nick. And by the time I was done with my conversation, those 6 cases were gone. I was there at lunchtime. So this place is super popular. It's a good beer. It's 8.2% alcohol by volume. Of course, no IBUs as far as I can see on Untappd. And it is good. I probably wouldn't buy a 4-pack of it again, but I very much enjoyed it.
Ooh. No.
Do you want me to ask you?
I'd like to ask you, Epic Film Guy Nick, what do you got going down your goal this evening?
Goddamn frog.
What do you got?
Dumpster juice. Same thing I had last week, just some more dumpster juice. Chocolate milk is still waiting to come out of secondary, and I'd put down Cascade Double IPA for the Cure. Going to be cracking that bad boy for the live stream for the Cure 2.0. I've got a ton of that in. I've got 2 different beers in right now, and I've got enough ingredients to do several more batches. So I'm just going to keep brewing, Justin. By the time I see you again, I'm going to have like enough beer to last you like 2 months. By the time it's all said and done.
Name him that. Go ahead, name him that.
Yes, the epic film frog is now named Denny.
Shut the fuck up, Denny.
Stop ganging up on me!
I'd love to try it. I hope that I make my way up there somehow soon enough where I can get some of your beer.
You know what I actually think I'm going to brew next, Justin? Once the Cascade Double IPA is done, I think I'm going to give a mead a shot. Now, mead is actually easier than beer. Mead is very simply honey, water, and yeast. And it's basically just the turnaround time that it has. You just got to kind of be patient with it. And I don't know. I'm interested. I'm really, really intrigued to give some mead a shot. We're talking, even if I start it now, you're talking like 3 months plus before you can really drink it. So it'll be a while, but I really, really want to make some mead. Bill made some amazing mead his first time out of the gate. And I just really, really want to try some. I really want to try my hand at it. I think I'll play around with some different flute flavors. I need like a flute sound effect. Can I get like the ocarina from Ocarina of Time in here?
Macarena.
Macarena. What the hell?
It stinks. It stinks.
I agree.
Stinks.
Justin does stink. He stinks.
I do. I went to the gym earlier. I ran a little bit.
Man.
I lifted some weights up and down. I lift them up and down.
All right. So now,
and then
what are you more excited for? Are you more excited to talk about? Did you get quiet?
I got it this time
because it was quiet.
I'm more excited to talk about. Those crickets will get their asses killed.
They will.
They're too loud, man.
They'll
get their asses killed. They'll get squashed.
That is very, very true. So we're going to take a break. We're going to come back and talk about A Quiet Place. We've actually got a short segment of epic previews to come toward the end of the show, and we're going to record, for those of you on the live stream, we're going to record just a short piece about Marvel Phase 1 in our lead up, in our kind of build up to Avengers Infinity War. That'll release as its own mini-sode, and we're going to toss that out. But you guys that are watching on the live stream are going to get to check that out live tonight. But Justin, let's go ahead and roll into a quick break. I'm going to play some EFG history clips, and we'll be right back to talk A Quiet Place. This week in epic film history. Some of the nuggets, some of the truths that I dropped about this movie as I watched through. Am I supposed to feel as awkward watching this as the actors seem to be acting in it? Dakota Johnson just gave this someone actually wrote this shit look. I said people don't talk like this probably at least a dozen times, which Paul pointed out. I said I know this is Twilight fanfic, but seriously, the Stephanie Meyer School of Character Development is in overdrive here. I'm in for 2 hours of being told that these two are into each other. It's not even that the dialogue is bad. There's just so much of it. I have never heard this much talking in a movie, ever. Literally every single thing these characters are thinking is turned into dialogue. There's nothing visual. Holy shit, stop talking. Oh my god. And this is a quote from the movie. I'm incapable of leaving you alone. So my response was, so you're a sexual predator. Which, wow. We'll get to that a little bit fucking later on. A question that Jamie Dornan's character, Christian Grey, asks in the film. Would you like a drink? Something I should have considered far before I sat down to fucking watch this movie. Justin, what's the one quote you were telling me about? I don't make love.
I fuck. That's an actual quote for this movie.
Well, thank you very, very much. And again, fans, that is Justin's Cinema Beat. So look for that recurring segment to come back week after week after week after week.
Or as I like to call it, me rambling on and sounding like a nonsensical bastard.
Yeah, as long as Justin goes to the movies, we'll be premiering that segment. Caleb over in the live stream said, Danny DeVito, Marlon Brando, in a jar of mayonnaise. Fuck, marry, kill. Go. I'll do you first, Justin. Danny DeVito, Marlon Brando, in a jar of mayonnaise.
I would fuck the jar of mayonnaise, marry Danny DeVito because he seems like a fun gentleman, and kill Marlon Brando because he's a son of a bitch, and everything I've read about him behind the scenes kind of exemplifies that. So that one's pretty easy for me. What do you got, Nick?
I'm gonna marry Marlon Brando because the dude's a genius, even though he's a fucking pain in the ass to work with.
Well, he's dead. He's dead, number one.
Well,
so you're
okay, I'm gonna marry his fucking corpse. All right, and then you know what? Family reunions with Nicolas Cage. All right, that's all I'm gonna say. Done. Family reunions with Nicolas Cage. Fucking A. And I'm gonna let's see. You know, I'll fuck Danny DeVito because I'd make him talk in the Penguin voice the whole time. It'd be fucking great. It'd be absolutely fucking great. And I would kill a jar of mayonnaise somehow.
Why? It's so innocuous, and it's you do not like mayonnaise?
Because fuck mayonnaise, man. Fuck mayonnaise.
You hate mayonnaise?
Belongs in fudge.
You know what? Mayonnaise would make the fudge taste better.
It probably fucking would, actually. What do you want to give a thumb up, thumb down, middle finger up, fist in, fist around, fist outside of? Thumbs up to Chrissy's fudge.
Thumbs down to Chrissy's fudge.
Wow. Wow.
But she just gave me the finger.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. What are you doing after you finish this great podcast you're listening to?
Well, whatever it is, you're going to blow that off and listen to the IMDb Journey podcast instead, hosted by Daniel, that's me.
And Dean, that's me. Join us on our journey as we tackle the IMDb Top 250 list, breaking down one movie a week, giving our own rankings as we go, as well as our incredibly intelligent and insightful thoughts too.
We also throw in a random quiz or movie battle every once in a while and have a punt on it, because us Aussies, we love a good punt.
Daniel, this is a G-rated promo, you can't say that.
I said punt, Dean. Punt. You dickhead. So come join us on the journey by subscribing to the podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, or any other podcast apps, and follow us on Twitter at IMDb Journey.
And now back to your regular scheduled programming.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for sticking with us on the Epic Film Guys podcast. We're about to get into our featured review, and this week we're going to be talking about John Krasinski's A Quiet Place. Oh, sorry. It got quiet there for a minute because I did not want to get killed. But we both had the opportunity to see this film. I myself had an advanced screening last week at the Alamo Drafthouse DC area. Nick, just this tonight. You saw it early tonight. Yep. So we're going to jump right in here. Nick, you said you had a brief description of what the film was about. Why don't you give our listeners that description?
I did. So after some kind of an apocalypse befalls the Dunder Mifflin Paper Company, Big Tuna sets out with Emily Blunt and has to learn how to be really quiet and can't play any more pranks on Dwight. That's what I got. Big
you do know that prior to the screening, Nick, they did play the clip from The Office where they're trying to be quiet. Do you remember that episode? They played a giant clip from that episode where they're like all trying to be quiet, and then of course a candy bar gets open, and well, that ruins the whole thing. But I thought it was hilarious that they showed a clip from that episode before the movie started. But no, I mean, let's get into the nitty gritty. Of course, our listeners know that I'm the big horror guy.
You are?
And
wait, you like horror movies?
Maybe you are. Maybe you are.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe Epic Film Frog or whatever the fuck his name is, Denny, is the big horror fan of the show. But I'm going to throw it to you first on your initial thoughts, because you came out fresh from the theater tonight. You actually went and you checked it out tonight. So what are your initial thoughts on the film, man?
Overall, now I will see why some people are rating this really, really highly, like loving it. I really liked it. I won't say I loved it. I had an issue or two with it that we can discuss. I'll actually discuss it like repeatedly, probably as we go through the story of the film. But this film is really, really well shot. It's a really, really interesting premise, and for the most part, there's no dialogue in this film. So a lot of the film relies on its atmosphere, its production design, and the sound design to really sell the experience. And in that regard, it's phenomenal. In that regard, it's absolutely excellent. And it's a testament to the talent of everybody involved here. Of course, Big Tuna behind the camera as well as in front of it, and had a hand in writing the screenplay on this thing. So, it's kind of crazy, to think that Pam would let him do something like this when, this isn't really a stable job.
You and your office puns in here, motherfucker. God damn it.
But
it is weird,
like
though.
I said, it's got the technical mastery to it. It really, really does. And I think that elevates it a lot. There are a couple of huge issues that I had with it that are going to hold me back from giving it like an amazing, amazing score. But I had a really good time with this. And it's a really, really tense film. It's incredibly tense, especially because as I'm watching it, I'm thinking to myself, Justin, like, you know how fucking hard it is to be absolutely quiet all the time?
I do. Like, believe me. I mean, we all do. We when we have spouses or
3 years
or
of this show, we
or,
never shut the fuck
anything. Up. You got to be quiet. You got to be quiet all the time.
Yeah.
And if you rob a business, or you go and rob something else, or you're going to try to hold up someone, you have to be quiet. Hey, whatever. In our daily lives, you got to learn to be quiet all the time. So I love the premise so much because we obviously in horror films, we've seen this before. Be quiet. Go hide in the closet. Be quiet. Go under the bed. Be quiet. Don't make a sound. And Krasinski just took it to the next level with making it a full-fledged, like, you can't say shit. You have to walk on sand. You can't, you have to barefoot. You can't even talk at all. It's insane.
There were so many clever touches like that in the film too. Like they made all the pathways with sand so that you wouldn't hear their footfalls and things like that. There are a lot of really clever touches in the design of this film and the way that everything is kind of created, that it's smart. It's very smart in a lot of regards.
Yeah. And the first thing that I said, and it was the first initial quote that I stated on my Facebook page as soon as I walked out of this thing, was, this is an exercise in suspense, the likes of which is rarely seen in modern day cinema. This thing is unnerving, it's tense, and it's terrifying in the sense that everything revolves around sound and vision in our world, aside from touch and what we eat. But we have our five senses, and sound is the most important, I feel like, outside of vision. If not, I mean, you could say, back and forth, one is more important than the other, depending on the situation. But, I mean, I couldn't even imagine being in this situation as this family. Now, I love the fact, Nick, that the film starts out, you get a small glimmer of you get a small little bit of an idea what actually happened, but there's no backstory. There's no newsreels. There's no, you see some newspapers, and that was good enough for me. And I'm actually very happy they went that route. I don't need a huge backstory for this film. It's pretty short. As you said, you're surprised that it was 90 minutes. It's short. It's perfect in its runtime, and the fact that it gets you in, it gets you oriented with the world, and then it gets shit moving for you. You don't have to sit through exposition for half an hour before things start to happen. And I liked that it did that. Like, I don't need a whole long explanation for me to get involved in this movie. The film opens perfectly, I felt. It shocked me. Let's just say that, because I don't want to shock people, I don't want to spoil people immediately out the gate, because I do want people to see this in theaters, because I feel like this is probably so far the Get Out, if you will, of horror films so far this year, because it's extremely smart, it's well paced, and it's so suspenseful. I feel like if Alfred Hitchcock were still alive, I mean, it's not humanly possible because he would be like 100 something. He would appreciate the level of suspense that Krasinski put into this movie, knowing that he's not a horror junkie. This guy's not a horror dude. He didn't grow up on horror. He's come out and said, I'm not a huge horror fan. He just decided to make this movie, Nick, and I feel like because of that, that's why it's so good.
Yeah, I can't necessarily disagree with you there. And there's, I think what we'll do, I think in terms of spoilers, we will not spoil any character deaths. We'll avoid spoiling any character deaths. I mean, obviously, you've seen the trailers, you know the concept. The whole concept is they can't make noise. If they make noise, then these creatures, whatever they are, will hear them and will come and
predatory creatures,
murder the shit out of them.
Extremely sensitive hearing.
Yeah. So, that's what we won't do. We won't spoil any character deaths, because I think that's really the most, I think that's really all you can spoil in a film like this. So we'll avoid any of that, but we'll talk about, your normal plot beats and whatever. And I agree with you. I like the fact that they didn't get too much into it. They basically actually lay the newspapers out on a table while Krasinski's character is looking for a notepad or something, and you can kind of see like how I love my favorite shot on that table is a little sign or a little leaflet or something from the government that says you are on your own. And I'm like, it would be pretty typical of the government to waste taxpayer money one more time and print out this flyer that says you're on your own right before like the government ceases to exist.
Yeah, most definitely. And especially in the political climate we're in right now, it would definitely be that, if not that.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean.
So yeah, I'm like, okay. But like, I love that all the things are just laid right out on the table. So you can piece it together. You read different things. I think there was a meteorite mentioned in one of the newspapers. And then you just read a lot of different stuff about newspapers that are like, it's of course how they printed a newspaper that says it's sound, like newspaper printing machines make a lot of noise. I don't know, whatever. Not important.
Soundproofing. Come on. But we don't know the extent to which this thing has spread. And that's why I liked it, because it makes it more scary. And that goes back to what John Carpenter has said many, many times. And I fully agree with this statement. What you don't know is what is the most scary about these movies, about anything.
What we can
what's hidden in the darkness.
Yeah. What we can at least infer from the newspaper clippings and whatnot is that at least like the United States government has been destroyed. Like the United States is gone, and probably like the entire North American continent. And I have to imagine it's probably spread elsewhere. Who knows? But I mean, we really don't know. And I think it's really good, but the film's not really concerned with any of that. The film's really just concerned with this family, and the film keeps you locked to this family. You never get the time to venture anywhere else without these characters. You never get to do anything without at least one of the family members present. And I think that's a really, really great way to do things in this film, because in 90 minutes, you have to invest the audience in these characters really quickly. And the best way to do that is to just make sure that they're always on screen. Always. And the film does not fail in that. Of course, Emily Blunt popping up in the film. Of course, John Krasinski's real life wife.
Let's talk about the standout here. Millicent Simmons as Regan Abbott, who is the deaf daughter in the film, which is a very interesting idea to have a deaf child in the film when these characters...
What?
She's deaf.
What? I never knew that.
Are you serious?
I'm finding that out right now for the first time. I never knew that.
Yeah, she's deaf. That's why she has the hearing aid on.
I thought they all had the hearing aid. Oh, you know what? I thought that was, you know what? I never even picked that up. I thought that was something meant to detect noise. Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, well, to detect noise, but that's how they were already educated in sign language, because she's deaf and he's been trying to, Lee Abbott, Krasinski's character's been trying to figure out to learn how to do the technology to make a hearing aid that's good enough for her to actually hear sounds, because when they're out there,
right?
This is in rural America. They're on a farm. They're out in the middle of nowhere. Any little sound, these creatures can hear. So yes, and to be honest with you, Nick, I'm not sure if you know this or not, but Millicent Simmons, who played Regan, she's an actual deaf actress. She's actually deaf in real life. So all of the actors in this film had to learn actual sign language, which made me so much more impressed when it got down to it. I was like, wow, they're actually doing real sign language. And as you said, like, I liked the idea, because there are silent films and there are films with subtitles. This movie is mostly silent with subtitles, and it's all done in sign language, but you can still understand the characters from their facial expressions, especially from their eyes. They all do such a great job with that. And Millicent Simmons, I just thought she was fantastic in the role. It just fit perfectly within that world for me.
Yeah. Oh, all right. That connects a few dots. I was just not perceptive enough when I was watching it, but I don't necessarily think that it doesn't hurt the film one way or the other to know that or to not know that, because I just figured they learned sign language because they needed a way to communicate that didn't make noise. Like, really, that's all.
Well, it takes a long time. I mean, honestly, if you look at how long it takes to actually learn sign language to the level they were at that point, I mean, you see that it's been a little while. But
Yeah,
I
fair
mean,
enough.
I guess if you have nothing else going on, you can't make any noise. I guess you can sit there with a book and learn sign language. But
I don't know.
yeah, dude.
Either way, yeah, it still. I'll go back to this repeatedly as we talk about the review, but I really think what it forces the film to do is it really forces it to it forces the production design itself. It forces the actors to emote without words or anything like that, which is something that we also saw in The Shape of Water. Guillermo del Toro did that, and that it's fantastic. It's all so well done. I love all the visual stuff that they put in the film. The lights, Justin, the lights that switch color depending on
I loved
the
it. Oh my
status
god,
at the farm.
Loved that.
Was a really cool touch. I loved all of those things. I really did. It was amazing. So I want to get into just other things that you really loved about this film before. Like I said, I've got a couple of huge issues that I want to throw in here, but I want to get to some more positives first.
Really huge?
Huge
like
issues.
Huge?
Massive issues. Movie breaking issues as far as I'm concerned. He says,
you're talking to someone that
rolls his eyes.
I'm just gonna go out and eliminate and say I fucking love this movie. Okay, I love horror, I love science fiction, and you know when you have movies like Alien Covenant coming out, and it's like the whatever number in a
this is
franchise
like 400
coming out,
times the movie Alien Covenant is,
and it can't even get suspense right. When you watch a movie like this and you're on the edge of your seat and you see that it is, like I said earlier on, an exercise
this movie was
suspense
incredibly suspenseful.
that is perfectly captured. That's all that matters to me. There's going to be people like yourself, Nick, that if you're saying there's a huge issue, and I don't know what that could be, I'm excited to hear. More interested than excited to hear what it is. But I liked everything about this movie. There are elements that I didn't love, such as maybe creature design-ish things.
You mean the Demogorgon?
It's not, though. It's not at all. I studied it.
They're similar.
And I'm going to say this. It's really hard to come up with something interesting and something fresh for creatures these days. Like creature design, it seems it's always like a mixture of things we've already seen. Obviously, there were some huge influences on this, Nick. If you watch this movie and you say, "Oh, there's no alien influence in this," then you're totally wrong. I mean, it's wearing it on its sleeve a little bit, but it's there for people that love those films and to go in and enjoy something that's just as good, if not slightly better, made in modern day motion pictures. I feel like this is what Alien Covenant should have been. But this is way above and beyond that. So I'll let you get into it, though. I'm excited to hear what you have to say. That you have huge problems with. I don't even know how that's possible. I'm rambling.
I've got to do it.
It's a live stream,
Big
so
Tuna.
no one cares.
I'm sorry, Big Tuna. I've got to do it.
Shut up! Shut up! No! Wrong! Now shut the fuck up and let me do my job.
Stop it, you weak, you baby! Shut up! Shut up! Shut
Why in the ever-loving fuck don't they just live by the waterfall? Why don't they just live by the fucking waterfall? Why? It completely breaks the suspense of the movie for me for you to go in the movie to this place where, because the sound of the waterfall is so loud and it makes so much noise that the alien monster things, whatever they are, don't bother with it. And you can go there and you can make noise, you can do whatever you want. And they visit it once in the film, and then they never go back there ever again. And every time they make noise later on in the movie, I'm like, they wouldn't have heard you if you were at the waterfall. Just go live at the fucking waterfall. Just live at the fucking waterfall.
Where?
Somewhere.
Is there a house there, Nick? Is there a house there?
Doesn't matter. Live in a fucking tent.
They have cabins.
At least you can.
Family.
At least you can fart without a fucking alien creature eating you.
They're making their own food. They're making their own food there too, man. Get out of town. That's a bullshit excuse.
That's a bullshit excuse, my ass. It completely breaks the fucking movie. You have this whole place where you can make all the fucking noise you want, but they don't live
Not
there.
Not all the noise you want. Not all the noise you want.
They were screaming.
They yell into one waterfall.
Pointless. Just live by the fucking waterfall. Live by the waterfall. It solves literally half of the problems in the fucking movie.
I'd love to see you take your pregnant wife, your 2 young children away from the home that you're living in where you're getting all your food and go build a whole fucking home next to that waterfall that's on rocks? Yeah, no. I agree with Dan. That's a dumb argument. Sorry, dude.
It's no dumber than you hating the gamer aspect of Ready Player One that's set in a video game world. It's no different. It's no dumber than that.
That's an aesthetic thing. That has nothing to do. That's an aesthetic thing. I didn't like the aesthetic.
You hated a movie set in a video game for looking like a video game.
I didn't hate a movie. I gave a movie a 6 out of 10. I didn't hate the movie. I loved a lot of things about it.
That aspect of it, but that's what I'm saying. This whole thing that you have an element in the film that completely changes the entire game of the whole thing.
It's giving the characters some freedom. It's giving them some humanity.
Which makes a whole bunch of noise.
Humanity. You had to give the character some humanity. And that's where it gave them the humanity to speak and actually be vocal. Because that's what we are. We're humans. We speak. We're not silent. It gave them humanity in that.
They introduced the river and the waterfall into the film. This element that makes a bunch of noise so the aliens don't go anywhere near it. They don't bother with it because of the noise that it makes. Just live next to the river. Live next to the fucking waterfall. Live where the noise is so that way the aliens aren't going to fucking bug you.
Yeah. Go build a house, Nick, next to a waterfall.
Not that fucking complicated. I'm not saying build a house. I'm saying just fucking take a tent.
With your bare hands. Go build it. You want your family and your pregnant wife to live next to a waterfall. Okay.
That's the pregnancy thing also annoyed the fuck out of me because like what are babies? What are babies aside from little screaming, shitting humans? That's all they are. All they do is cry and eat and sleep and shit. Cry a lot, especially when they get sick or whatever else. So get knocked up.
I mean, when you have to be quiet, and the only thing you have for pleasure is banging your wife, and then it happens, and then of course a mistake happens. You're not going to abort that kid.
When they were walking on the sand trails down to the department store, pick up some rubbers. Get some rubbers. That didn't really bother me. I was fine with the pregnancy thing.
I love that whole thing because it gives me one of the most tense scenes in the entire film.
Like I said,
bathtub scene was one of my favorites in the entire film.
Don't introduce a thing like the waterfall or introduce something else in the film that makes the waterfall not safe anymore. And then it completely erases that as an option from the equation. And then I don't care about it anymore. But
you're the only one thinking that. You're the only person that I've ever seen even mention the waterfall. No one else in any review or you're the only person that picked out one thing.
I don't fucking care.
Say,
it completely breaks
a waterfall.
Like I said, every time they make noise, like any time that there's some noise where then the aliens fucking show up, it's like, well, that wouldn't happen at the waterfall.
I totally disagree with you in every way. The waterfall was a symbol of showing humanity that you can actually, these kids that don't get a chance to be kids, to yell, to play, to be themselves.
They said, then break it. Then break it somehow. And they didn't.
It would have ruined the pacing of the film. It would have ruined the pacing of the film. The pacing was set perfectly, I felt.
Make it not safe anymore.
If you had broke that, then someone else would have had to have died. Who would you have killed?
We're not talking about character deaths. I'm just saying it breaks the film to me. It breaks the whole, we need to be as quiet as possible because blah, 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 this and that.
Well, we do. Well, we do see, to be fair, we do see them go into the woods, Nick, and on their journey to the falls, we do see them actually witness danger, human danger. That's not the falls, which I felt was a commentary on human violence in the film rather than nature as violence. Because if you look at in depth in the underlining themes of the film, a lot of it has to do with, I feel like, that humans are the violent aspect of the world, the true violent aspect of the world, whereas nature is only violent when it needs to be. Oh my God, you're in a cloud of smoke. Are you smoking like a bong or something, dude?
I wish.
Is that like something really good?
God damn, I wish. Nope. That's right. I have special effects, Scott LeVar. Special effects, baby. Like I said, it just didn't work for me. That was the only element of the film. Everything else about the film, it had the tension, the performances, the production design was fantastic. The sound design in this film was out of this world good. I loved everything else about it. This one thing, no, it took me out of it. It just took me out of it. It was just an element in the film where I was just like, just go stay there. It solves all your problems.
But it makes no sense logically, though. So your argument, I understand your argument. It's sound, but it's not logical because no one that has a family would ever move all their kids and their family next to waterfalls. If you have a full house, as you said, you liked the lights.
Fuck, man, I'd have gone and found like a cave behind a waterfall or some shit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure your wife would love living in a fucking cave.
Even given that, if you follow the logic of if there's loud natural noise, the aliens don't bother with it because it's louder noise. Find some place where it's just got that natural noise to it. Like I kind of wish that the film would have explored that a little more, and it doesn't. And I like the way it keeps it self-contained. I really like that aspect of it. But that's one element to me where I'm like, I wish they would have maybe tried to explore that, or maybe, like I said, even a quick commentary on it, or even a quick aside of where they find this place and some other. But I mean, that broadens out the world of it. I get that, but you know, it just would have worked a little bit better for me. Just didn't work.
I'm being quiet because I don't want to get killed.
But like I said, every other aspect of it, we could get. I don't have any other negatives. I really don't. I loved Big Tuna in the film. He was fantastic. I loved Emily Blunt in the film. She's always absolutely a knockout. And yeah, I really, really loved the performances in the film. I really loved, like I said, the sound design of this film. We can't talk about it enough. Every little creak, every little squeak, every little scratch, every little everything is amplified because all you're doing is you're just sitting and hearing the environment, and it really helps as an audience member to kind of immerse you in it. And I think that's fantastic. I think it's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, I love this movie. There's nothing about this movie that made me dislike it at all. No film is absolutely perfect, but for me, being a horror fan, being a science fiction fan, this is the movie that I've been looking for a long time, and it is the get out of this year for me. Love the performances. Emily Blunt's fantastic in it.
She is.
I get what you're saying. I do get what you're saying, but I mean, if we didn't disagree on something, why would our reviews be interesting? So I have to argue with you. It would just be, I love you.
I'm quitting the show.
I love you because we like the same thing. Yay. Let's agree. 9 out of 10. Yay. That's so fun. That's no debate.
That's you and Loy Sauce every single fucking time you review a movie. Every time you guys have the same exact rating of like every movie ever.
Don't talk to me. Talk to my son who wants to be just like me.
Where can't help him. Where is that sauce anyway? We need to get the sauce in here. He hasn't even checked in all night. Loy Sauce, are you there?
I texted him this morning and asked him what he thought of this movie, and he didn't even respond to this. He just said, "Yo, get me this. Get me a graphic for something." Oh, that's what I'm good for graphics, but you can't even tell me what you thought of a movie. I get it. I'm good for one thing, but not good for another. I thought he was
supposed to come on the show tonight to talk about it. Did you knock him out? Like that?
He's busy doing something. I have no idea. No clue.
Man.
He's going to watch a movie that he says he's going to review, Nick, and he's not going to review it. He's preparing a review for something that'll never get reviewed on the show.
I was promised Loy Sauce audio, and I didn't get it yet.
No, it's never happening. He's about as wishy-washy as I am about doing B-sides.
God damn it. So I'm going to start doing B-sides. I'm going to pick the slockiest, shittiest B-horror movies I can find and just start reviewing them. Then I'll probably hate half of them and you'll disown me.
Do whatever you want. Do it.
Oh,
I come on here.
For you.
I come on this show to drink good beer, talk to you.
That's true.
And I like these disagreements. If we didn't disagree, this would not be fun.
I mean,
glad.
Overall,
I'm glad.
When it comes down,
I'm glad that you want to move your family to a waterfall. I'm going to tell Ada all about it. I'm going to find her a good waterfall, and I'm going to show her where it is, and then you guys will move there, and you're going to get some tents. You guys are going to go live there.
When it comes to Big Tuna's big horror movie adventure, I mean, listen, like I said, I really loved every other aspect of the movie. It just that one thing broke for me. But I'm still going to give this an 8 out of 10. I'm still going to give it a really high rating because I loved it that much. I really loved every other aspect of it that much. That one you know what? Dude. And you can even cut that scene. You can even just cut the waterfall part out of the movie, and I would have I probably would have been happier, but it is what it is. But yeah.
So Nick, you're legit. You're gonna play the Nick's Ranch theme.
Kill him, hang him, hit him.
Because it made me mad.
You're gonna hate what you said. You hated an element. You hated it.
I did.
But you're still gonna give it an 8 out of 10.
You're damn right.
And it's only gonna be 1 point below my rating.
Every
of the
other
film.
aspect of the film was that much better that it elevated it above, even in spite of that.
It's crazy. So yeah, this is why I do this show. It's exciting.
My girlfriend
you never know what you're going to run into.
In a row?
Yours dead, not mine. I don't know who's dead. Mine or yours? Which one? You know what? I'm giving A Quiet Place 9 out of 10 rating. So far, it's in my top 3 films of the year. I absolutely love this film. It had me on the edge of my seat. Yes, there's human danger, as in humans that can kill you in this movie, because humans are dumb, and humans will cause you to die. Humans cause other humans to die every day, every single day, in the United States and all over this world. So,
God damn.
Yeah, sorry. But I love what Krasinski did with this world. Like I said, the suspense is top notch. We rarely see this in films these days. It's expertly done, especially from a guy that's not a huge horror fan, which makes it even more
this is only
special.
His 3rd film, and the other 2 films he's done, I was looking them up today, are like tiny.
And you know what's strange about this, Nick? I love the fact that this is weird. We have to comment on this real quick. Well, no, not that.
I want to know where Andy Bernard is in this world. That's what I want to know.
This is Platinum Doom's produced, but they did not promote it as such. This is produced by Michael Bay. He's one of the main producers on this. It's not promoted as such.
I saw
and
that.
It's weird because when the film ended, I didn't know that. And then when his name came up and Platinum Doom's came up and it said Fuller was involved as well, I was like, oh shit, dude. This is the same team behind the Friday the 13th remake and a couple other films that I like. And I feel like they conscientiously, they decided that they were not going to promote it with the names, so that way people would actually go see it. Does that make sense to you? Am I right in that thought?
Because think about what the moniker of Michael Bay being attached to a film does to it. It immediately gives people that sour taste.
Especially a horror film, especially a scary movie.
Especially a horror film. Like, people are going to be like, there's going to be aliens fucking blowing up all over the place and all this shit. Jared wants an EFG t-shirt with a waterfall on it. I would say to see it in a theater, Scott. Yes,
I definitely recommend seeing it in a theater. Like, again,
the sound design is so good in the theater system. Like, and the score.
Scott, if you haven't gotten that out of this review yet, then we're not saying it clearly enough, man. Go see this in the theater.
Yeah,
this
definitely.
This is a really good movie.
Really, really good. Just close your eyes when the waterfall scene comes.
No, don't. It's a beautiful waterfall, and you'll want to take your children to a waterfall. And let them yell into it too.
How dare you?
I agree.
Go swimming in the waterfall. Take a bath in the waterfall. Get nude in the waterfall. I don't know. Do whatever you want. Don't go chasing waterfalls.
You sucked his dick.
I know.
Under the waterfall. In the waterfall.
Big recommendation for
A Quiet Place.
No, you're supposed to just leave it there.
I'm sorry. I can't help it. I'm human. I'm a human, and I'm an American, and Americans can't ever keep their fucking mouths shut. Dan knows all about that. Dan knows all about not being able to keep his mouth shut. He should be able to appreciate this movie.
The aliens land. When the aliens land, Dan Branagh, first one on the casualty list. Oh my God. We are going to go ahead, ladies and gentlemen, and roll into a quick break. And when we get back, we've got a little taste of some epic previews coming your way. That brand new Solo trailer dropped, and we're going to be talking about it coming up next.
Someone just posted on our page a trailer for that new shark movie, Meg, and everyone's telling us they need us to watch it. So I'll be doing that one as well.
Okay. Sure.
We'll be right back.
This week in epic film history.
I've caught into your, help. What is the fan views line?
Yep.
Drunk like the week before Christmas as Santa Patrick Swayze. No, Dan thought it was Santa Patrick Swayze, but I told him that it was Ghost Patrick Swayze, and I really didn't know at the time. I was drunk, so I was like, what does Ghost Patrick Swayze sound like? And apparently it sounds like Santa Patrick Swayze. But that's another thing that I'm like, I don't think he's such an innocuous actor who's been into a lot of classic movies that I'm just like, but Nick, why?
Good for
Tell me, Nick. Tell me.
Touch. As far as the Goonies goes, it's just I don't like it.
You don't hate it. You don't hate it.
I think it's
That's what I want to say.
It's decently made. It's Richard Donner, so I mean, of course, it's decently made. But it's not my movie. And there's movies like this out there that everybody has that are, it's past their time, or they just don't buy into what everybody else sees in it or whatever, even though they may here's a great example of this. Here's a great example. Wizard of Oz. Now, I absolutely completely understand why people love Wizard of Oz. I absolutely understand how much of an achievement it was back in the day when it was made, but I don't fucking like it. It's not that I hate the Goonies. I don't hate it, but I just don't like it. It's not my thing. That's the watch it.
The thing.
I'm completely indifferent towards it. I'm just like, I don't care about this. You know what I mean?
So that's the thing. So I think we've made some progress here because, like I said, when I would talk about it, you would like, I hate that fucking movie. It's a piece of shit. And my response of like, why? Like, why? Was mainly towards the intensity that you brought. And now you've basically backtracked to, I'm kind of neutral on it. Like, I'm just like,
does it make
not my
sense
thing. So that's what I'm saying.
I'm a pretty
You've gone from I hate
guy.
it, it's a piece of shit, to it's not my thing, which is totally a different thing. So
thinking about me, you've known me for a little while. We've had our back and forths on movie pod squad chats about different movies and whatever, and I've been on the movie fantasy drafts and stuff. I mean, would you not at least say that I'm an extreme guy? Like, I go for the reaction, and I know I'm like this where like I go for that reaction from people where like they're like, holy fuck, I can't believe it. Listen, I'll say this about the Goonies. Saying that you're not a fan of the Goonies for some people, for most people, is the same as saying you hate it. I'll say that because a lot of people love that movie so much where if you're not a fan of it, you're fucking Satan.
Hello, everyone. This is JD from the In Session Film Podcast. Each week, we review
the latest from Hollywood, California.
Well, yes, Brendan. We also
give top 3 lists.
Okay, yeah. Thanks again, Brendan. Additionally, you can hear us
talk other movie news, trailers, varying movie series, or other interesting film-related topics, and even rants and raves of the week.
That's correct, Brendan. On top of our main show, every Friday,
you can also hear our extra film podcasts.
Good job, Brendan.
Thank you, JD. It's my goal to make you proud. You're the father, after all.
Yes, and I'm very proud. You can listen to the In Session Film Podcast on
iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, or at InSessionFilm.com.
Brendan, will you please let me complete just one?
Nope.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
Listen to the In Session Film Podcast every Monday and Friday. Subscribe today and hear me verbally beat JD like a Cherokee drum.
No. That's not how this works, sir.
Hey,
no,
you go cry at Midnight Special again, okay? That's what you're good for.
I will. You know what? And I'll do it while pummeling you. I'll do both at the same time.
How are you going to pummel me? Yeah, I don't buy that.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Did I just say welcome black?
I guess you did. I think so.
Welcome.
Yeah. You're so used to wanting to be quiet because of A Quiet Place. You want things to be black. Shh. They can't hear us. Can they hear us? Can they see it? They can't see, though. They're blind, so they can't hear us, right?
Yourself!
Dan, come on. They're going to find us. God damn it, Dan. I don't know what that was. That was a weird noise. Okay, good. My computer's making noises at me. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's wonderful to have you here on the Epic Film Guys podcast. Just finished up our review of A Quiet Place of...
My girlfriend sucked 37
Wait, no, that was the wrong one.
In a row?
I'm going to stand with it. We're going to keep it out there. Justin, there is a little something we do every once in a while when we find a trailer worth talking about here on the Epic Film Guys. What is that segment called?
Epic previews.
In the world of Endicott, New York, and Herndon, Virginia, two epic film guys dissect the latest movie trailers in a segment we like to call Epic Previews.
All right, and we've got two trailers to talk about tonight on the Epic Film Guys podcast. And why don't we go ahead and run into a trailer for a film that I have not as yet been excited to see, and I think I can say the same thing for you, and I'm eager to know if this trailer changed anything for you. We are, of course, talking about the brand new full-length trailer for Solo, a Star Wars story.
You're after something. Is it revenge? Money? Or is it something else? You look good. A little rough around the edges, but good.
Heard about a job. Big shot gangster putting together crew.
I'm a driver, and I'm a flyer. I waited a long time for a shot like this. What do you think? Well, what do you know?
You got a line on a ship?
Yeah, I know a guy. He's the best smuggler around.
I heard a story about you. I was wondering if it's true. Everything you've heard about me is true.
L3!
Let go of the mean man's face.
Who are these guys? If you come with us, you're in this life for good.
You know, I gotta tell you, the first trailer was extremely lackluster in every possible way. I didn't care about it at all. And
yeah.
I probably still don't necessarily care about it, but I'll give you this much, though. I think the newest trailer, Nick, at least made it look fun. It made it look like a movie that people might want to go out to see. The first trailer, it's like, why am I going to see this? Why is there a movie about Han Solo? Like even director Brennick said in our comments in the live stream, you know, telling the backstory of every single character is unnecessary. We don't need to know the backstory, especially of this character. This is not a character that I personally wanted to know the backstory for, that I cared to see on film, and especially without Harrison Ford. But they're making it. It's reality. It's happening. They're going to do this with whatever they want to do. Disney can do whatever the fuck they want because Disney rules the world, and that's it. So what did I think of the new trailer, Nick? I think it looked a lot more fun than the first one. I think that I'm going to be a little bit more interested in seeing what this movie's about. It's a heist movie, as you can see in this one. They're going to go rob something. Woody Harrelson's in it, and he's always good to look at and always fun to watch. And I think that they're really letting
Woody Harrelson's always stealing something.
I mean, to be fair, he kind of is. He wants to steal the lives away from the apes in War for the Planet of the Apes. And if you've ever seen Natural Born Killers, he steals and kills a lot in that too. But in this case, what I loved in this trailer, Nick, is that we got to see a lot more of Donald Glover's Lando, and he steals the show from every single scene that he's in here. I'm excited just for that because I love him as an actor. I love the character of Lando, and if this is going to get me the only movie, Nick, where I get to see a backstory or any kind of a young Lando, I'll take it for what it is. I mean, they're giving it to us. And Emilia Clarke, whatever. I don't watch Game of Thrones, but I don't give a shit. She looks beautiful in this trailer, so it is what it is. It looks at least fun. I got to see a visual spectacle in the trailer. Story-wise, it is what it is, but what did you think, man? Anything different than the first trailer for you?
I'm going to be right in lockstep with you pretty much in terms of Donald Glover. I'm really excited to see what he brings to the role of Lando, because let's be honest, we got so little of Lando in the original Star Wars trilogy that is a character that I'd love to see them invest a lot more time in. Yes. Han Solo, I don't think needs the time invested in him. And, you know, I mean, obviously we're going to have to swallow some of that too. Chewie, I mean, there's another Wookiee in this trailer. So, I mean, who knows? Is Chewie banging some other Wookiee broad? Who knows? I guess we'll see. Maybe?
I don't know. There's going to be some Wookiee babies, and we get Paul Bettany showing up here. It looks like as a villain. And Bettany's been doing his thing for Disney, obviously as Vision for the Marvel films.
Yep.
And I love Bettany. I've loved him for a long time, and it's good to see him getting some good roles here. I am in a great hopes, Nick, that Ron Howard came in here and saved the day, and at least is going to deliver us a fun Hollywood blockbuster, a good summer blockbuster, because this is coming in May, dude, the end of May. This is coming for Memorial Day, so this is our big Memorial Day blockbuster we're going to get. At the least, man, I just want to be entertained. I mean, we've already come out on the podcast, and we've talked about this, and we've both come to terms with the fact that it's reality. We're going to get Star Wars movies every year, one or two, if not three now, and who knows what the next solo character movie is going to be about. But in this case, we're on the same page. We don't think that Han Solo needs a solo film, but I can see in this trailer, though, a little bit more Harrison Ford in this Han Solo. And there is that rumor, Nick, that they brought on the acting coach for Alden to be a little bit more like Harrison Ford. Do you see it? Do you think that's true?
It's hard for me to take pieces of a whole and really make that kind of a judgment. I think we need to see the entire film to really see if he has that kind of swagger to him. And I mean, maybe the character grows into that swagger as the film goes on. I mean, we'll have to wait and see, unfortunately. But I mean, Han Solo is the thing I'm looking forward to the least in the Han Solo or the Solo of Star Wars or whatever the fuck you want to call it. So I don't really care. I want to see some Chewie. I want to see some Donald Glover. I love Lando's co-pilot, that sassy ass robot. That was a cool robot. And I don't know. We'll have to see what else they decide to throw into this film, but it could be interesting.
Our listeners know, Nick, as much as you know, and I know how much you've been waiting for it, you've been hoping for it, that what you're really holding back for is you just want your Boba Fett trilogy, your Boba Fett origin story and full trilogy for Boba Fett, and that's really what you want. And we just have to get this in place first, and maybe we'll get, a solo Yoda film and a solo Obi-Wan Kenobi. Then you'll finally get your Boba Fett
I'm willing
movie.
to bet you Boba Fett fucking at least shows up in the background of some shot. I'd be willing to guarantee it.
The helmet will be on a table or something. We'll see him pick up the helmet and walk away, and that's it.
Guaranteed that fucking character will show up somewhere in this movie. It's Disney. They love to do their fan service bits. And you know that there are those people out there in the fan base that are just clamoring for some Boba Fett. I hope they bring back Daniel Logan. He just is like, "Come on, Dad!" And then that's the only thing he does in the movie. But he's in the armor, so his voice is all like, "Come on, Dad!" I hope that's what we get. I really do. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm already going to buy a ticket. We know I'm going to be there to see this thing. So, we'll just have to see. We'll just have to wait and see and give it a review on the podcast like we do everything else.
And that's right. And we have a second trailer. This just landed as we were recording this podcast tonight, Nick. It is for The Meg, which is about a giant megalodon who's out in the ocean, and it's attacking shit. It's killing people. And Jason Statham is the main character in this film, Jonas Taylor, who's there to try to stop this shark. This film was originally set to be directed by Eli Roth. However, at the beginning of production, he wanted the studio to keep the $150 million budget and also keep the R rating. And, well, we know studios, they just don't do that. So the guy that's directing the movie now, Nick, I can't even say his name correctly. You're going to end up correcting me here. Okay, John Turteltaub. Okay, he's a producer and director known for National Treasure, one of your favorite movies, and National Treasure 2, Book of Secrets, and Phenomenon from 1996. He is the guy that took over directing duties for Eli Roth. I don't know if that's good or bad. I mean, in this situation, I'd probably rather have Roth because I know he's a huge Jaws fan. But we had that trailer posted to our page tonight by Lola Loisas, who respectively said that he doesn't want to come on the show tonight. He doesn't want to. He's too busy. I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, we already know.
I sucked a dick last night.
We knew. Yeah. We already know.
Or tonight, or he's doing it right now. I don't know. But Nick, you watched this trailer. We watched it on the live stream. What are your initial thoughts on The Meg?
What's that?
There's a monster outside.
I love that the last half of the trailer is basically a comedy. So I see what they're going for. They're kind of going for that Deep Blue Sea level of over the top. Like, they're not trying to make this a serious film by any means, and I sort of applaud them for that. They seem like they're going to try to have a lot of fun with it, and if it is a lot of fun, kind of in the vein of a Deep Blue Sea, I really, really see it being successful. $150 million budget on a film starring Jason Statham is, I mean, okay. But, I mean, it's co-produced by China, so we know that, you know, this film's going to make bank in the overseas market, and I know that's definitely probably what they're banking on. Probably won't have a big domestic run, but I don't know. I'm intrigued at the very least. Dwight Schrute shows up in it.
It's hitting in
perfect.
August, man.
We had Big Tuna in segment 2. Now we got Dwight showing up. This is the Office podcast. Steve Carell's going to show up in the
It's been a while
exit,
since
in the
Rainn
outro.
Wilson's been in a big movie too, as well. It's been a long time since he's been in something. I feel like this big, and he seems pretty funny in the trailer as well. And again, as I was just saying, it's an August release, so this is dumping ground for summer releases. But I feel like they're hoping this will be like the, I don't know, like The Shallows of the summer. I know you didn't like that film, but I loved it. But this is way more tongue in cheek, way more over the top, way more just,
they're definitely playing this as a comedy.
Sharknado-ish, if you will. But it's got Ruby Rose in it. I love, man, she's just, I'll watch anything with that girl in it. Yeah, exactly. That's what she does. So I love how it's poking fun at the genre, but at the same time, like, they know they're not taking it seriously. And if you're either going to go in and have fun with it, it's a B movie, dude. It's like Piranha.
Yeah.
Okay, this is not trying to be
They're
anything
definitely going
special.
for the big budget B movie feeling here.
It knows what it is. So
I think
for
we
me,
got it, when we review this, we can release it as a B-side just because.
I hope so. I hope it's B-side enough. It is set now PG-13. Eli Roth leaving meant that R rating is out the door, which means that I'm not going to get to see people, you know, bit in half with blood squat all over the place and bloody water and guts hanging out and everything like that. That's what I was hoping for out of this, but you know, you take what you can get.
I'm playing with my titty on the live stream. Don't.
I can't. I'm not looking at the live stream because
it's what the Meg makes me excited for. I don't know. It looks fine. It looks like big dumb summer popcorn fun. We'll just have to see what it turns out like. And like I said, as long as they play it nicely tongue in cheek, like I said, if it goes in the vein of a Deep Blue Sea, in that kind of vein where it's just over the top ridiculousness for the sake of it, yeah, I'm on board. We'll see what they can do with it.
We'll see it. That's what we do. And, you know, as a big shark movie fan myself, either it will cross that bar and say, yes, it's decent, or no, it won't. You'll be a Piranha 3 Double D, and you won't be able to cross that mark. So we'll see what happens. Statham, I mean, it's Statham. What are you going to say about that? So it is what it is, but that's what we got, ladies and gentlemen, for Epic Previews this week. We are skipping something else because we just simply don't give a fuck. That's the Epic Film Guys way.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for this evening's show. Again, early donations are now live for Livestream for the Cure 2.0. Head to livestreamforthecure.com to make an early donation. Again, we are at $175 already raised in early donations, and we had Perry and Lindsay from the Pod Stuff and Hello Life bought a couple of shirts. Get yourselves onto Redbubble, buy that merchandise. Thank you very much, Justin, for the other graphics, the shirt graphics, the stiff graphics, the stiff big penis.
You're talking about the Stifler. You're talking about the Stifler, but you're totally right, because I did get to hear Thomas Ian Nicholas. That's right, the Rookie of the Year himself, Kevin from the American Pie movies, play a rendition of Stacy's mom.
I kept
telling
Stifler's Justin
mom
to go up to him and ask him if he needed any spare change. What does that dude do? Is that just what he does now? Just plays like acoustic gigs at
he has
random
a band.
places?
No, he's had a band for 10 years, actually. The show that I went to, ladies and gentlemen, was his 10th anniversary for his first debut CD. He's a musician. I had a great talk with him. I guess he's been a musician since he was a kid. He's been playing guitar and singing music since before he was even in movies. And when I went to go see him play at this bar, we were like, well, it's an Irish bar. We're going to go get some drinks. We're going to have some dinner. I took my whole family, my daughter, my wife. It was a packed house. It was packed full, and it was a great show. He played he's embraced it, Nick. He knows what he is. He knows what people want to hear out of him. So he plays what he calls frat party classics, and he plays songs like Stacy's Mom, but puts little spins on them, like Stifler's Mom. He plays like all these songs that you and I both loved in high school and our early 2000s in college. The whole crowd loved it. He was a great, fun guy to be around, super friendly, and I gave him a Epic Film Guys podcast sticker. So hopefully he listens to the show. But yeah, dude, I mean, I feel like if you're selling out shows like that at a bar, me being the guy that used to be involved in booking shows and promoting, he's making at least some money off that shit.
All right, now, Thomas, this is, if you are listening to the show, thank you, first of all, if you are listening to the show. Now, do you need some money? Because we hear that there's a guy lives right near Justin, right down the road from him, in a dumpster behind the Ned Devine's bar, does pretty well for himself, gets like a couple half-eaten double cheeses. People just toss him in there. And you, too, could eat like a king and drink old PBR from old cans discarded out behind the very bar that you played at, probably. Let us know. Let us know. No, in all seriousness, that's cool, though. That's really
the
cool.
Rookie of the Year, man. That's the Rookie of the Year we're talking about. For real. He was a really, really nice guy.
That's
really cool
really
dude.
cool.
He, drinking good beers and hanging out, and he took pictures of me and my family, and he even autographed my Blu-ray copy, Nick, of Halloween Resurrection, the worst of the Halloween franchise. But if I knew he was going to be there, I was like, well, I'm going to bring the cover anyways to see if he'll sign it, and he did.
So you brought that instead of any of the American Pie movies.
That's it. I wanted to get him to sign that. It's a more rare item. It's a more rare piece. But before we finish the show, I just wanted to let all of you guys know out there. I know most of our fan base is not around the area, but the Epic Film Guys podcast presents this Friday the 13th, at Alamo Drafthouse, DC area. Friday the 13th, a final chapter. That's right, the final chapter, which wasn't really the final chapter. It's my favorite in the series. We are playing that this Friday at the Alamo Drafthouse DC area. Be out there. Make sure you get a ticket. It's almost sold out. We're going to be giving away a special gift for one of you fans out there in the crowd, and Epic Film Guys stickers. So if you're there, come out, do some Friday the 13th trivia on Friday the 13th for one of the best Friday the 13th movies, and let alone one of the best slashers ever made at Alamo Drafthouse DC area. Hey, meet Alamo Drafthouse people and Epic Film Guy Justin and Epic Film Fail Guy Loy Sauce, who doesn't ever come on the show because he's lame, and
Loy
win
Choth,
something.
Loy Sauce, Loy
A1 Stoy Choss.
Get out of here, Loy Sauce.
Whatever it is.
The closest I've got on here to that Friday the 13th sound effect is this. I feel like that's sort of the same
Just slow
thing.
it down. You'd almost get there.
That would be. That would actually be pretty close. You're right. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a good night, and we hope that you have enjoyed the show once again. Livestream for the Cure, as of recording day, 40 days away. We are super, super excited. Set your whatever alarms, YouTube channels, whatever you got to do. Set it over to the Epic Film Guys, May 18th through the 20th for 36 hours of live streaming amazingness. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. All right, but until next time, for myself, for Justin, for A1 Steak, Loy Choth, Loy Sauce, Loy.
Watch out for Godzilla!
For Godzilla. Thank you very, very much for listening, ladies and gentlemen. You are amazing. We love each and every one of you out there that listens to the show. Thank you all very, very much for listening. And
we will see you at the movies.
Oddfix Network. You can check out more shows like it at oddfixnetwork.com.